again. I just knocked over my camera. I'm picking it up. Sorry about that.
Hi my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. So, wow, it has been a long time since I've ranked stuff. Honestly, it's because for a long time, those were the only videos that the algorithm used to push and like pick up on my channel. Sure, it was frustrating, but making them was always a good time because it gives you the chance to kind of like talk about things that like maybe I haven't had the chance to talk about yet, or simply reference because, you know, I can't be normal about anything. So I asked you guys on my community tab and Instagram. Yes, you heard me right, no more Google form. However, I still do have a Google form for submitting video ideas. It's linked in my description. Do with that information what you will. I can't stop you. For context, I used to do Google Forms for these videos exclusively, and I would like post them on the community tab because if I just posted like asking the question, literally no one would reply. And I don't like it because I want you guys to be able to see yourself obviously in the video. And at the time, I didn't have enough of my YouTube following my Instagram for me to ask there. To get back on track though, I asked my subscribers on my community tab and my Instagram what their favorite childhood theme songs were, and boy,
you guys delivered.
If your suggestion didn't make this video, I apologize. Like, I'm going to be doing more of these in the future, of course. It was very overwhelming. I did not expect to get that many responses, but nevertheless, I am so grateful. But enough rambling, let's get right into the tiers so we can get into the video. In theory, this video seemed like a very easy concept, but like making the tiers was so hard for some reason. I could just do S to F tier ranking, but I feel like that would be boring. So our tiers today are If It Was a Real Song I Would Listen, Didn't Even Need Words to Impress Me, Bouncing Off the Walls, Scratches My Brain, and Delivers the Story. So starting off strong, I'm just gonna go ahead and rip the band-aid off because you all probably knew this would be in this video. The Total Drama Island theme song. And we're talking about the classic theme song. I'm sorry, Reboot, I actually really like you otherwise. Hey, what's up? I'm here to slay. I've said this time and time again, so this was like a little bit of an obvious answer, but if it was a real song, I would listen because I want this on Spotify. I would have this in my playlist, unironically. It's so good, and although I'm not putting it in Scratches My Brain, I will say the really has scratched my brain for years. It's just so good. Like, it doesn't get better. And this theme song was foreshadowing for how good Total Drama could do in like the music area. What I mean is, like, I wasn't surprised when we got the music for World Tour and it was really good because their theme song was already so good. Also, while we're here, I am gonna make a video about the Total Drama reboot, season 2. I've been getting a lot of comments about it. I just haven't really wanted to share my opinions just yet because I'm gonna do like a full in-depth review when like the rest of the episodes are out and the season concludes, but yes, it is coming, unfortunately for me. I can never escape the chokehold that Total Drama has. I have tried. It's never gonna happen. I just keep, you know, I'll be like, I'm not a Total Drama YouTuber. It's true, I'm not. But you know what? I'm always back here. Back in the room again. Get me out! And on the topic of Fresh TV, oh my god, I don't know what it is with Fresh TV and banger theme songs, but we have 16. Now, I won't spend too much time talking about the show itself because we dive deeper into it in my Canadian cartoons video. But the first takeaway I had about this show, like in that video before I even got into anything, was it has a banger of a theme song. That begins after school. That's when we bend all the rules. Time to hang with all my friends. I'm 16, starting to find my way. Got a new job, gonna start at the mall today. I love this genre of theme songs so much, where it sounds like a punk rock band in the 2000s could have made it. I want to clarify, I'm not saying this theme song is rock. I know someone's gonna take it personally in the comments, I'm just making a blanket statement, but I love 16. It's one of those shows where I think it's heavily criminally underrated. If you like Total Drama and you want a good show to watch, I definitely recommend 16. I don't care if you haven't grown up with it, like you'll enjoy it regardless. I actually started rewatching this show in 2021. Guess how old I was? I'm 16. I was 16 and it caused me to start applying to jobs because it made them look so fun. I wanted to go work in the mall. I wanted to have a group of friends. That is not real. Nobody hired me, by the way. The only job I've ever had was I worked at Spirit Halloween when I was 17. Ironically, they they ghosted me. They didn't get back to me this specific year. I was originally gonna put this song in, like, if it was a real song I would listen, which is very true, but the more I'm thinking about it, the more this song really, like, delivers the story. It's such a simple concept for a show, but yet it's so entertaining and it just never gets old. Also, I'll probably mention this again, but 16 got, like, referenced in the reboot.
I don't like to move through life too fast. I want to make the good times last.
And, like, I literally screamed. Moving on, we have The Girl Next Door, aka the My Babysitter's a Vampire theme song. I didn't even realize this was a theme song, and you're probably like, what? I know, it sounds dumb. Lula, well, you've seen My Babysitter's a Vampire, right? Well, yes, but I couldn't tell you what happens because I never got to finish it. See, when I was little, I became obsessed with this show. I don't think I was supposed to be watching it, but I was. Ironically enough, that's where the story goes. My mom decided one day that it was too inappropriate for me and that I wouldn't be allowed to watch it anymore. Little Lula was so upset that I, one, begged and pleaded my mom to let me continue watching and even just finish the episode I was on. I remember it was like some finale. I feel like it was like a finale or an important episode. I don't remember. And two, I ended up crying so hard I almost threw up. But yeah, she didn't budge, unfortunately, and I naturally just ended up forgetting about it at some point and moving on to another show. Now, this is not to say I was unable to convince my mom when it came to stuff like this, because I had convinced her to let me continue watching both Gravity Falls and That's So Random. Which, let me just say, I am disappointed heavily in all of you, because not a single person said So Random for this video.
Oh, you're not gonna believe this.
Was it technically SNL for kids? Yeah, but I'd say it still counts. Anyway, the funny thing about me, like, not realizing this was the theme song was I didn't even realize it was a theme song, period. Like, I thought this was a real song from a band in the 2000s. I just never bothered to, like, check. But ironically, I wasn't far off because this song originally was just a song on the band Copperpot's 2006 EP, Girl Next Door. So with that information, you know, this is definitely going at the top of if it was a real song, I would listen, because it technically is. But if we backtrack to what I said about the two shows my mom wouldn't let me watch, Gravity Falls, on the other hand, I did get an overwhelming amount of suggestions for this video. And let me just say, you guys are so tasteful for that. Repeat after me, guys. Theme songs do not need lyrics for them to be catchy. Nobody said that. I'm just saying that. Not only does the Gravity Falls theme song have me moving and grooving, but it just fits the vibe of the show perfectly, and I'd say that's very important about a theme song, at least to me. I can't imagine this one having words either, because it leaves that element of mystery for the viewer of like, huh, like, what is this show even about? Like, I remember getting into it, I didn't realize what I was truly going into. Another modern example of this is the Owl House. Like, the Owl House in general just has like some of the best instrumentals for a show I've seen, like for the fight scenes and stuff, but also like, hello, the Collector's theme. Also, if you don't know, Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls, voices King in the Owl House, so that's what caused me to bring this up. It's not really that random. Plus, the shows share a connected universe. It's been hinted at heavily that Ida is actually Grunkle Stan's ex-wife. This is like my favorite theory. Let me get into it. Well, it's not really a theory, it's practically canon. Basically, Ida, when she was in the human realm, she went by the name Marilyn, and his ex-wife's name was confirmed to be Marilyn in one of the journals. There's also this clip where Stan talks about his ex-wife and describes her, and bro, you could not tell me he's not talking about Ida the Owl Lady.
Reached for the same slot machine handle and it was love at first sight. Marilyn had hair like an airline stewardess and a neon pink shirt that said, over 30 and very flirty. Man, I was putty in her hands. You should have seen the way she threw dice. One time right at my head. Turns out she only married me to distract me while she stole my car and all my winnings. And I guess her name was fake and her hair was fake. But, you know, the love was real. She really was the one that got away. Like, literally, it was a proper getaway. She was chased by cop cars for about a mile out of Vegas before ducking out a door and into a canyon and making off with all my loot. Sometimes I still think of her. That pale bingo hall skin. That one weirdly sharp tooth. Sorry, I'm getting nostalgic.
Enough of that side tangent though. Gravity Falls is one of like the best animated shows I have truly ever seen, I think. I really need to rewatch it because I want to get back into the lore of it because I don't remember much. All I remember is having the DVD and watching episode 7 of season 1, or making my dad play it for me over and over and over just to see Paper Jammed Dipper go, I'm not
No! Paper jam.
This is not all I remember. It just sounds like this is all I remember, and that's not true. But yeah, I love Gravity Falls so much, and I'm gonna be putting this one in Didn't Even Need Words to Impress Me. On a completely different note though, next we have Bear in the Big Blue House, which I have been dying to make a video about. It's like one of my goals for the new year by far is to do a lot more like media focused videos, like videos focused on just a show, because there's just so many shows I want to revisit personally, and also talking about would be so fun. Funny enough, or not funny for me, but I had the perfect opportunity to talk about this show sooner in my Sprout video, but I failed. What I mean by that is, fun fact, Noel McNeil, who took over as a host on the Goodnight Show named Leo for a very, very short period of time. Well, he plays Bear in the Big Blue House. I don't care.
I am gonna be beating myself up about this forever.
Because how did I miss that? That's why you always look into every person. You're like, I don't know this person, you look into them. Or it's not even that I didn't know him, I didn't look to see who played Leo. You truly learn with every video you're making, and especially with like that being my first video about a TV network, which is such a large thing. But anyway, back to Bear in the Big Blue House. I truly believe this show helped me to just become who I am today. It like shaped me. I have such fond memories associated with this show specifically, especially music-wise. It was a very musical show. From the charming theme song, which I'll be ranking today, to the infamous Bear Cha-Cha-Cha. That was a memory like tucked so far away in my mind that when it showed up in my recommended, when I revisited, you know, the theme song of the show, tears were shed. Tears were shed, guys. So let me just say, it was very accurate to find out years later that this show had such a huge impact, of course overall, but specifically with autistic children, which is believed to be because of how, you know, gentle Bear is and his role as a caregiver in the show, which I definitely believe to be true as someone who is autistic. This show is just always has been so comforting to me. The titular character of Bear reminds me of like, if the term bear hug was an actual bear, but like in the least threatening way. Like, it's not even the act of him hugging you, it's the comfort you feel watching the show is the hug. So yeah, I'm gonna rank this one at bouncing off the walls, because like, it's such a good time. It's just so fun and upbeat and had me like running around my house. I've decided that the next network I'm gonna make a video on for the, you know, the series I'm doing is gonna be Playhouse Disney. It's something I just want to look into anyway, and Bear in the Big Blue House I will definitely be, you know, touching on in that video, but I even wish I could make a video separately on the show because I just love it so much. But we'll see what happens this year. It's always a possibility. To continue on with theme songs though, we have Strawberry Shortcakes, and I do mean both. We're gonna be talking about two versions here today. I grew up with both, so this is very fitting anyways, but I've just never had the opportunity to share my input on the matter. But Strawberry Shortcake 2003 will always be better. Have you guys been seeing those like characters throughout the years, or shows throughout the years, TikToks or like Instagram Reels? It's like the modern day version of those Disney stars then and now that used to be on YouTube all the time. Anyway, I swear to you, almost every one of those I see, the top comment is some variation of
Strawberry Shortcake 2010 on top. Strawberry Shortcake 2010 is the best. Strawberry Shortcake 2010 is better.
when that is just so loud and wrong. Don't get me wrong, that Strawberry Shortcake is technically the one my generation grew up with, though I grew up watching the 2003 version on VHS and DVD throughout my childhood. In regards to the theme song, I actually really like it. It's super cutesy and it fits the vibe of Strawberry Shortcake and her adventures almost as perfectly as the 2003 version did. I say almost, not to insult it, but because it's my personal favorite, the 2003 version. I think it's mostly because of the strawberry. It just scratches my brain in all the right places. Although, it is so hard to choose because so does the strawberry. She's a very bitty girl. However, my biggest bone to pick with 2010's Strawberry Shortcake is the character designs are all very underwhelming. because they made all the like once unique cast of characters look practically the same, which unfortunately included whitewashing Orange Blossom and taking away her textured curly hair for no reason. I think you can still have nostalgia for this adaptation, and you know I still do. The characters, though scarily similar to each other, still feel like Strawberry Shortcake with their cute designs. I mean, how can I not have nostalgia for it when this show also came from the Hub, of all places, which is a time capsule on its own. But with all that said, it is still absolutely ridiculous that they did this to Orange Blossom when she's the only prominent black character. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious what generation of Strawberry Shortcake is your favorite, and do you guys find the 3D unsettling? Because I do. I'm gonna put 2003's Strawberry Shortcake at if it was a real song I would listen, because this feels like a 2000s pop song in the best way. And then for 2010 Strawberry Shortcake, I think I'm gonna put it at, it's between Scratches My Brain and Has Me Bouncing Off the Walls, but I really think this has me bouncing off the walls. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, I'm in a new land. Speaking of the Hub though, I should have seen this coming. The Littlest Pet Shop reboot. Yay! One thing about me is, if this show has 0 haters, I guess I'm dead. But don't let me lose you. But the music for this show is the show's strongest attribute. Like, not the plot, not the characters, besides the Biscuit Twins. But the music has just never failed. It's never failed. Kind of being vague because I want to stay on the topic of the theme song today, because I will be diving deeper into it and my thoughts on the show for my Bring Back the LPS retrospective I have coming up later this month. But love or hate this show, the theme song is absolutely a banger, and it stems from our main character Blythe being voiced by the one and only Ashley Ball, who actually voices Applejack and Rainbow Dash from another very popular Hub show called My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. But even crazier, you weren't expecting this, she's the voice of Feet Face from Noggin. But I bring up Ashley though because she sings the theme song, which at first, like, hearing she voiced like Rainbow Dash, it was specifically Rainbow Dash that I found out about first, and I was like, what? That's crazy. No, she didn't. And then I listened to Blythe literally speak. Blythe, you know, you hear the theme song, you hear Blythe talk, it smacks you right in the face, like it's been obvious all along. But the visuals are so fun and colorful. I love the buildup of this song as Blythe is going down like the dumbwaiter, which, by the way, I used to be so jealous of. Any house on TV or in a show or in like a game even that had some sort of like little hidden nook, like a door in Coraline even, I was so jealous. And yes, Coraline isn't scary. There, I said it. Grow up! That was a joke, I took it too far. But yeah, for the LPS theme song, I think I'm gonna put it in Scratches My Brain because, oh my god, it all comes true. Moving on, we have something that's a little obscure, and it didn't even get a lot of suggestions, but it got enough. I saw it once and I was like, it's going in the video. Now, personally, as a kid, I wasn't very interested in game shows, besides like, you know, the main game shows everyone knows and loves and like sees on at the airport or something. But there were a lot of like game shows marketed specifically to kids and their families, and I think I just internally knew like, you're never gonna be on there, Tallulah, and your parents are divorced. However, there was one exception to this, and this is probably the exception that gave me that kind of mindset. Fetch with Ruffman. I have never wanted to be a part of something so bad in my life. I would have sold all my organs to be a part of Fetch with Ruffman. This theme song, it's for a game show. It didn't have the right to go this damn hard. It's kind of funny watching the theme song and then knowing that like Fetch got canceled after 5 seasons, even though they had completed the casting for the 6th season. And oh,
you know he was pissed.
And I'm always thinking about that cast. Like, I'm sending my condolences out to that cast, because if that were me, I'd been casted for this show and I'm such a huge fan of the show, and then it's suddenly canceled, my world would have been in shambles. I'm gonna put this in Bouncing Off the Walls, and not to be dramatic, but I'm a firm believer, this is the best theme song on this whole list. I said it, there I said it.
Didn't wait to renovate, found 6 contestants, all were great, and now I'm on the road to fame. I've got a game show and its name is...
What can I say, it
rolls off the tongue.
But going from something sort of obscure to something very mainstream is Sofia the First. Now, my experience with Sofia the First was always, I know damn well I'm not supposed to be watching this, I'm not the target audience, I'm too old. Before you say anything, yes, that makes no sense considering I'm Gen Z and Sofia the First came out in 2012. The truth is, I've never been like a die-hard Disney fan. Like, I've consumed a lot of Disney media, of course, growing up, but I wasn't like, the only example I can bring up is Disney adults. Like, I've never been like that. I've never been that, like, invested in Disney, I guess. I was a casual Disney watcher. Hell, I didn't even go to Disneyland until last summer. That like shocked a lot of people. Every time I'd be like, yeah, I've never been to Disneyland, which I don't know why that's such a shocking thing, even to this day, because Disneyland is expensive. Mostly the reason I didn't go was because my mom was too scared to take me when I was really little, thinking like I would be too short for the rides and, you know, it wouldn't be a good time. For context, I'm 18 and I'm 4'11". So when I got older, I don't know, I guess I didn't have the interest. And then, you know, this past summer when I went to Europe, I was like,
fuck yeah, we're going to Disneyland Paris.
And it was a great time. I had a great time. I even got Mickey ears. I was having the time of my life. Key example of this though is Playhouse Disney. When it was replaced by Disney Junior, I don't even think I processed what was happening. I just continued to watch Sprout and The Hub and even Nick Jr. However, when it came to Disney, the one thing I was really obsessed with was the Disney Channel. So when Playhouse Disney was phased out, I literally just went to Disney Channel. Like, I was more obsessed with Disney Channel probably at the point that Playhouse Disney disappeared. So fast forward to at least 2013 or 2014, I was at my neighbor's house who used to watch me in some mornings, and she had Disney Junior on for her like younger child. And that was what made me realize that like that was what happened and that was where Playhouse Disney went. And then a couple years later, when I was around 11 or 12, my dad would leave on Disney sometimes by instinct because I like Disney Channel. And I think at that point they had it to where Disney Junior would be on in the early morning. So I'd be up and I'd end up watching Sofia the First, Doc McStuffins, or Chuggington for 2 hours straight. And let me tell you, I enjoyed 2 of those and it was not Chuggington. Chuggington used to enrage me. Like, I don't even, thinking about it makes me mad. I like didn't want to watch it and it was just left on and I was like, I don't want to watch this. But theme song wise, the words are just engraved into my brain. I just can't help but appreciate it. It gives the viewer also a bit of lore, like Sofia's basic lore, to catch them up in case this is a rerun maybe and it's someone's first time tuning in, which as someone who hasn't seen this in years is very helpful for this video because it kind of helps unlock more memories. So for that, I'm going to put it in Delivers the Story. Getting back to wordless theme songs again, I did want to mention Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, although we can kind of guess what tier I'm going to put it into. This is one of those like original Cartoon Network shows that I feel like everybody has at least heard of. And the thing about the intro sequence is it almost immediately kind of captivates you from the moment it begins drawing the house because you're like, what is going on? I've always really liked the buildup of this song and then Mac running into the house and it showcasing our main cast of characters through the window as the music continues to kind of escalate, going harder and harder. And speaking of the characters, with this show being centered around like imaginary friends, the creativity and like abstractness shines throughout like a lot of the characters' designs. And I think even for some of the like more simple characters like Blue, I just love the use of colors and shapes and this style. It just makes them stand out just the same. Speaking of Blue, can we just talk about how like unironically hilarious he is? A lot of my memories with this show are very, very vague, but I have 2 very specific memories. One is Coco singing and dancing to the Can Can. And 2 is that episode where Blue has a bunch of clones.
I am Blue, and you are my minions!
Because Mac took him to show and tell, and the other kids tried to imagine Blue, but none of them turned out as cool as the original Blue, so they all gave the failed Blue duplicates to Blue, and then he gathers them all together, and you might think, we should be worried about what he's gonna do with all this power now. But instead he just instructs them to start singing the good old Ice Charades theme.
I think you all know what we must do. That's right! We must sing the theme from the Ice Charades in 100-part harmony! Oh, Ice Charades, you're so icy and fun! Oh, Ice Charades, it's not the cupcake one! Oh, Ice Charades, every year comes to town! Oh, Ice Charades, get your money back if the skater falls! Holy guacamole!
It's so fucking stupid, but it's so great. Like, Just revisiting this one episode because I remembered it for this video is making me want to rewatch the whole show. Like, it's so good. The humor in this show in general, but like I was specifically reminded of Blue as a character. Like, I love him. So yeah, didn't even need words to impress me. I love this song and I love this show. Now, I saw quite a few people say Monster High in the comments, but I wanted to actually focus on their sister line, Ever After High. I wasn't into this series nearly as much as Monster High, but I remember my first exposure to them was at Justice when I heard the theme song, and I feel like I remember them selling the dolls there too, but I could have been remembering wrong. Maybe it was just like themed merchandise because, you know, Justice had a lot of that kind of stuff. But it's funny because I remember like immediately being mad because I thought they were Monster High knockoffs until I got into the series on like their YouTube channel and I realized like the universes were not only connected but, you know, by the same company. If you don't know, CA Cupid actually transferred from Monster High to Ever After High, which is really a cool detail, but it's also really cool because we get to see her in both animation styles and in both doll styles. Though the dolls from this line can be a little... I'm so mad at myself though because I could have some right now for this video. At the beginning of March of last year, I was thrifting and I always check the doll section because specifically for Monster High. I am never successful, but I really want to rebuild my collection. They're very expensive online. And what I mean by rebuild my collection is I'm pretty sure my childhood collection was donated because I've searched my attic and I cannot find them anywhere. I found like accessories, like my very first Monster High doll was Toralei, like the original Toralei, and I found her shirt. And I think I found like her pet even, but I didn't find her. Anyway, back to Ever After High. I found both Raven and Apple in pretty good condition on this day in particular, with most of their outfits. And you know what I did? I left them. I didn't buy them. And I was like, oh, I don't even collect Ever After High. But now I just like think it would have been, I don't know, really cool to have because I didn't have the dolls before. At that very same Goodwill, there's a video on this channel when I would post like more like vlog-like stuff. And I zoomed in on this like Littlest Pet Shop plush. It's one I still don't have. And I didn't buy it. I don't know why. But anyway, back to the animation art style of the show. I almost like it more than Monster High, like their movies. Like, you know, they have that 3D kind of thing going on and it doesn't ruin those movies, but for me, I just like the simplistic version of their like animated like episodes better. But it's very simplistic and cutesy and I just don't know like why these dolls have such a round, flat face and the biggest forehead you've ever seen. They don't look like that. Anyway, the theme song, however, is oh my god, I feel like I'm in that Justice again. This song is very similar to the Littlest Pet Shop theme where it's like very, very generic pop. But the thing is, I don't care. I like the Gummy Bear song. Do you think I would care about generic pop? I also like the aesthetics of this intro sequence. I like the little ink splotches and, you know, the flipping of the pages, the little sketch doodles, and everything just flows together like so well. I mean, hell, they even snuck in their own logo. Another thing to note is they made a live action music video for this song. So, you know, that's how you know you're about to have an absolute banger on your hands.
Another form of promotion MGA did for this line was a live action music video for the Bratzillas theme, which is such a banger. That doesn't even do it justice because we need to talk about what a banger this truly is.
I think I'm gonna rank Ever After High at It Scratches My Brain. It's just, oh, it's so good. It's taking me back to that Justice once again. Also, dare I say this, kind of controversial, I like Ever After High better than I like Descendants, and it's really sad that Descendants caused the end of Ever After High because it was really good. It should have lasted longer. Now this next one is actually a show I haven't seen, which is kind of weird, but like, hear me out guys, okay? You're gonna be so mad. Danny Phantom is just one of those shows I've never seen. Please don't burn me at the stake. Anyway, I got it a lot in the comments and it just really got me curious, frankly, to see if it is just as good as people think it is, and especially because I've never had the chance or an excuse to search it out otherwise. And all I have to say is it most definitely is. Similar to what I noted with some others, this show debriefs the like basic lore of Danny Phantom because I never really knew what it was about either, and that was very helpful going into this blind. It's also just extremely catchy, like most important of all, and I can see why this stuck with others. I also really like the character design of Danny Phantom. Like, it's one of those, like, even though I didn't really know the show, it's always stood out to me, and that's why, like, if someone asked me, I could name him by name. This is a show I could genuinely see myself getting into if Butch Hartman wasn't,
Butch Hartman.
But yeah, I've never seen Danny Phantom. I just wanted to check out the intro because I was very curious. I'm gonna put it in Delivers the Story because it did a really good job of explaining the premise to me. And it definitely got me interested to like watch an episode. It's funny because like I've seen other shows from this like time period that were obviously reruns by the time I saw them. Like My Life as a Teenage Robot or Invader Zim. Moving on though, we have another Nickelodeon show, which is Wow Wubbzy. The way this theme song scratched my brain just needs to be studied. Like the comment that said the Wow Wubbzy theme had me going feral as a kid.
Nailed it, literally said it perfectly. This song makes me want to start running on the walls and shit.
Especially Widget's verse for some reason. Like that's the one that's always stuck with me and been like engraved into my brain.
Widget is his friend, she likes to build. She hammers and she saws and her toolbox is filled.
Also, for some reason, I don't remember Walden as a character at all, but he's been there like since the first episode. Like what is wrong with me? I do have a core memory to share about this show though. Basically, I used to be like really obsessed with online virtual worlds and flash games. So naturally, I played a lot of Nickelodeons in the early 2010s. And they had one for Wow Wubbzy where you could basically pick between Wubbzy and Widget. I don't know if Walden was there, but anyway, you'd be trapped in a bubble and that's all I remember. And I did find it online. The only version I could find was in German though.
Nehmen wir den leicht, schwer, schwer, leicht, schwer, leicht.
Which caught me completely off guard at first because it did not specify that in the title. Honestly, I didn't even remember that this game had speaking lines. The only thing I remember is the title screen, which the video did not show. It's weird how core memories work because why was selecting a character for this game so important to me? I don't even know if Walden was in this game. I just remember, like, in my head I have a picture, the choosing a character screen, and it has them both in bubbles, like Wubbzy and Widget. And that's what I remember. That's how I remember this game. It's really weird. Anyway, I'm gonna put this one in Has Me Bouncing Off the Walls because, oh my gosh, it's Wow Wubbzy. That's kind of on brand for him. And finally, to end the video off, we have Arthur, which I think was actually the most suggested. I feel like Arthur is one of those theme songs where you really just can't go wrong. It's kind of like a timeless classic, and the same goes for Arthur as a show. When I was doing my intro to my Sprout video and I talked about how PBS was more of a channel that I watched on occasion at my grandma's house, Arthur was exactly what I was like picturing in my head as I said those words. I just feel like this show had everything to offer from, you know, its important life lessons obviously, but the show also has such a good sense of humor too. Like I always see clips online every once in a while and they've aged really well. One in particular that really got me that I saw semi recently was Arthur and DW were entering a brother-sister race and Arthur informs Sue Ellen of this and DW says, maybe there's a race for lonely children after this.
Race? Sorry, Sue Ellen. It's a brother and sister race. Maybe there's a contest for lonely children after this.
And then Arthur tells her,
it's only children, DW. A lonely child is what you're gonna be when I sell you.
It's only children, DW. A lonely child is what you're gonna be when I sell you.
Oh my god, DW was such a menace, like always so out of pocket, but in the best way. I don't care. I know there's DW haters out there, but I will defend her gladly through the trenches. Also, how can I not mention the infamous gay rat wedding? I think it's just something we all need to witness and experience. This is kind of a hard one to rank with the tiers I have. It's between if it was a real song I would listen and delivers the story, but it doesn't really deliver any lore about Arthur, so I'm gonna put it if it was a real song I would listen. And those were all the theme songs we are going to rank today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below which one in this video was your favorite, or just what childhood theme song in general was a personal favorite of yours. But yeah, Happy New Year, guys. I'm really excited. I have some fun stuff cooked up for this year, and thank you guys for all your support, and I will see you guys in my very next video.